Top of the morning to ya.
And short and bigorra the rest of the day to yourself, lassie.
That was my Irish husband, Tim. Yes, he's Irish and I am 100% Italian. But they say everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day. So who am I to argue with that? St. Patrick's Day has always been special to us, not just because Tim is Irish, but because my oldest grandson, Jake, was born on St. Patrick's Day. So we tend to celebrate a little bit more. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a Peekaboo Shamrock St. Patrick's Day cake. You'll find out how you can take a simple cake mix, tweak it a little bit, and make it into a cake that, trust me, everybody's going to ooh and ah over, and they're all going to say to you, how did you do that? Because I made one for Christmas, and that's what I got. How did you do that? So now I'm going to tell you the ingredients you'll need, and then we'll start. First of all, you're going to need 2 1-pound boxes of pound cake mix. I'm using Betty Crocker, but you can use any mix you want. But you are going to need 2 boxes. Next, you're going to need baking spray for your pan. I happen to use the one with the flour, but I guess you can use whichever you prefer. You're going to need a Shamrock cookie cutter. You will need your baking pan. I have a glass one. You can use whatever one you have. You're going to need a can of Pillsbury Vibrant Green Vanilla Icing. I'm going to show you a shortcut on how you can make a nice glaze for the cake when it's finished. Optional is some green and white sprinkles or any other St. Patrick's Day decorations you want to make on the cake. And you're going to need, last but not least, some green food coloring. I happen to use the Wilton's green paste. You can purchase these things in Michael's or any other store that sells cake baking ingredients. So right now, we're going to start off. You're going to take your first box of cake mix and you're going to follow the directions on the back of the box. And you're going to mix it in your mixer and you're going to add your green coloring to it. So you're basically making one cake mix that's all green. Make sure you put enough coloring in the cake mix because if it's too pale, it's just not going to show up when you bake the cake for the purposes of what we're doing. So right now, I'm going to put my pre-prepared green cake mix into the oven. I'm going to bake it, and I'll be back in a minute. Bye-bye. I just took my cooled green loaf cake out of the oven, and what I wanted to mention to you is just a little tip. I don't know if many of you know this, but if you use a glass cake pan, you should reduce your oven temperature to 25 degrees from what it tells you to use on the box because the glass retains the heat much longer, okay? So that's what I did. I used a glass loaf pan, so I did turn down my oven temperature by 25 degrees. But if you're using a metal cake pan or a ceramic one, you can leave it on whatever you're supposed to. So right now, I want you to observe, I'm going to slice my cooled green cake into 1-inch thick slices. You see that beautiful green color? I wanted it to be a nice, vibrant St. Patrick's Day green. So I'm going to cut them into 1-inch slices. The pound cake is firmer, so it makes them, look how beautiful that came out. It makes them so much easier to slice. And I'm just going to put them to the side here. I think you're going to just be very surprised when you see how easy this cake is to make and how many compliments you're going to get on it. I'm just putting them aside to get them out of my way before I show you the next step. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. I think I can just trim the ends off here. Now what I'm going to do is put what I'm not using to the side here. Now I'm going to take my Shamrock cookie cutter. I don't know if you can see it here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each piece of the sliced cake. I'm going to put the Shamrock cookie cutter in it, press down, and take the cake away from the sides. So what you're going to do is you're going to have green shamrocks. Can you see those? And we're going to put them aside. Now, in case you're wondering, we're not going to waste these scraps. You can do several things with these scraps of cake. You can eat them. You can put them in a bowl, break them up, and use them if you're making cake pops. But trust me, I don't think they're going to last that long. They'll get eaten. So right now, I'm going to cut all of these shamrocks out, and I will be right back. So what I just did while you were waiting was I mixed the other box of the pound cake. You don't color that, you just leave that the color of the regular pound cake, the white, okay? One thing I should mention to you is the first time I made this cake, when I used the box of pound cake mix, I put the entire box in my pan. Now loaf pans come in many different sizes. They're 8 by 4, 9 by 5, and even larger. So that one box of cake mix was really too much for my size pan. So the first time I baked in it, the pound cake came over the top. So I would say, don't use the entire mix. Just look at it and gauge it. Maybe put it, 3/4 of the way up. Or you might want to put a cookie sheet under it in case it does come up. It doesn't spill over. Mine just rose higher, and then I had to kind of slice off the top. So anyway, I just mixed the white now. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to use my baking spray, and I'm going to spray my pan. I don't want anything to stick. Okay. Now, the secret to this cake, and this is important, is all the little cake shamrocks that we cut out, we are going to put them lengthwise from left to right in our baking pan, touching one another, all going in the same direction. So I'm going to put my first one down like this. The camera will kind of show you what I'm doing. That's one of the reasons I was using the glass pan, so I could show you. And I'll bring it up a little bit in a few minutes and show you more. So as you can see, I'll tip this up a little bit. In the center, I don't know if you can see that, I'm putting all of the little shamrocks touching each other in the same direction in the middle, the length of the pan. Just take your time with this because you don't want to break any of the shamrocks. Here we go. You should have enough shamrocks to take you from one end of the cake pan to the other. They should fit in there snugly. So let me fix these up, and then I can show you what these little guys look like. Okay, let me see if the camera can get in close enough to give you an idea. So this is what you do with the shamrocks. Do you see what I mean? You go left to right in the middle of the pan, all going in the same direction. I should have mentioned to you that I didn't before is this cake is fantastic. It really does get a lot of oohs and ahs. I get everybody that says to me, how did you do that? They can't figure it out. And I'm showing you now how easy it is. You can make this for Valentine's Day. Just use a heart cookie cutter. Make the batter red. You can use it for Easter. Buy a bunny cookie cutter and make the bunny in chocolate. You can do a star for 4th of July. There's just, let your imagination go wild. and they really do come out adorable. Another thing is, don't buy a cookie cutter that's too large. You don't want your cookie cutter to be higher than your pan, because that's not going to work. So what I did now is I mixed up the other pound cake mix, and I'm leaving it white. You're only coloring that first one. You're not coloring the second one. Let me get my beater out of here. Boy, if my grandsons were here, they'd all be fighting over who is going to lick the beater. But I don't know. Maybe my husband wants to lick this beater today. Would you like to lick this, Tim? Not today?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. Let me just get this over into the sink. Okay. Now, what we're doing now is taking a spoon, and you're going to take your white cake mix, and you're going to spoon it onto the sides and over the top of your shamrocks. You just want to make sure your shamrocks are all covered. You're going to get that cake mix along the sides, because that's important. Get it down in there. And you know what I'm going to say now. Once this cake bakes and it cools and you slice it, it's awesome. You have this beautiful white pound cake with a green shamrock in the middle, and everybody will be saying, how did you get that shamrock in there? Like I said, I made a Grinch one for Christmas, and I put a heart in the middle, and I made the cake green, and I made the heart red. Nobody could figure out how I got that red heart in the cake. And now that you're seeing me do it, it's really pretty easy. The other thing is, you probably are not going to need this entire pound cake mix to go over this the shamrocks, because that will overflow on you too. You probably just leave a little batter left to maybe make yourself 2 extra cupcakes or whatever. You just want to make sure that these shamrocks are all covered nicely with the white cake mix. And then once we get that done, I'm going to put this in the oven as per the instructions on the box. Pound cakes do take a while. Could be somewhere around 50 minutes or so. Just make sure that you check it, because you got to remember that the cake inside the cake is already baked. Okay, so I have everything pretty much covered now. I'm going to put this in the oven, and I'll be back in a little while after it's baked. Okay? Bye-bye. All right, I microwaved the icing. I actually microwaved the whole can. You don't have to do that. If you can microwave half the can. But this is the consistency I got. So it'll make like just a nice drippy glaze over the cake. What I did is I microwaved it for 40 seconds, 10-second intervals at a time. So right now I'm just going to drizzle this over my cake. And we'll give you a look here. And then when the icing hardens, we're going to take a slice of this, and you're going to see the big surprise inside. I'm back. Okay, here's the cake. It's all iced. Came out really beautiful. I'm going to put a few sprinkles on it. Little green and white. Decorate it for St. Patrick's Day. Throw a few more of these little babies on here. Very pretty. And then I will be back to slice it and give you a peek-a-boo. Okay, so I am now going to do peekaboo. I see you. Gonna slice this baby and let you see what's inside. So here we go. Ta-da! Let me cut another piece because that was the end. And I'm going to show you what the cake looks like. Here we go. Let me hold it up for you. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? Our nice shamrock cake. Everybody is going to say, how did you get that in there? How did you do that? It's so awesome. And now you'll know how. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope you will maybe give a try at making this Peekaboo Shamrock Cake. So if you like what you saw today, go to YouTube, The Baking Diva, and subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.